Straight ahead, investigators on 3 continents continue to sort out the identity of the airline passenger who tried setting off an explosive hidden in his shoe.
I'm Amy Polacko in Granville. We'll introduce you to a family that already has the president wants this Christmas. It's Dad. We'll have that story coming up.
And even on his busiest day of the year, the man in red wouldn't miss a Columbia County tradition. Channel 6 News at 5 starts right now.
Channel 6 News is everywhere. Live, the most watched news station in the capital region. This is Channel 6 News at 5.
Good evening. Police in 3 countries continue the search for clues into how a man boarded a plane in Paris and apparently tried to set off a bomb in his shoes while over the Atlantic. Drew Levinson has the latest from New York.
Standing inside a federal courtroom and wearing an orange prison jumpsuit, the man listed in court papers as Richard Reed said little. When asked if he understood the charge against him, intimidation or assault of a flight crew, he answered, yeah. Reed, who had a British passport, was arrested Saturday after he allegedly tried to set off explosives hidden in his shoes on a Paris to Miami flight. The American Airlines Boeing 767 was diverted to Boston.
It is a functional device. It could have exploded as it was configured.
America's airports have been on heightened alert since September 11th. But in the wake of what happened on Saturday, they're now rethinking their entire security plans from head to toe. Because Reed had the explosives in his sneakers, the FAA ordered U.S. airports and airlines to take a closer look at people's shoes. Today's walkthrough machines can't detect plastic explosives, so many travelers are being told to take off their shoes and send them through the X-ray machines.
Whatever's going to make the flight safe. I just want to get home for Christmas. So that's what it takes. Take my shoes off. I'm with it.
I'd be concerned if someone else had a problem with it, but I don't have a problem with it.
In Paris, police want to know why red flags didn't go up when Reed, a man with a one-way ticket and little else, made it through security.
If you don't have any carry-on at all and someone's walking in with almost nothing at all, that certainly would be cause for some scrutiny.
So far, federal agents have not linked Reed to Osama bin Laden. He'll be back in court for a bail hearing on Friday. Drew Levinson, CBS News, New York.
On to the war in Afghanistan, where the country's interim leader, Hamid Karzai, has named a prominent warlord as his deputy defense minister. The appointment is seen as a conciliatory move that could help ease some criticism. Meanwhile, Christmas is in evidence in war-torn Afghanistan. American troops are spending the holidays singing carols and opening mail from home. U.S. Special Forces are recovering valuable intelligence material in the Tora Bora caves left behind by fleeing al-Qaeda fighters. A Granville family says this is one Christmas it will never forget. That's because they didn't think their husband and father would make it home this holiday season, but he surprised them. Amy Polacko is live in the newsroom with more on that. Amy?
Mary Beth, Greg Bourne says he and another naval reservist from Granville just found out about a week ago that they could come home for Christmas, and that has them making the most of every moment they have with their families. Bourne has 3 children and found out after he was deployed that his wife is expecting his 4th child. The Navy called him up to duty a couple months ago, and he's stationed at the Patuxent River Base in Maryland, where he's a policeman at the entrance gates. Bourne normally works for the Granville Police Department. He says he never thought he'd get deployed so soon, since he just enlisted in the Naval Reserves last spring.
Again, I know it's something that has to be done, and I've got a military background, so I don't have a problem with being down in Maryland and being away from my family. It's just, it's hard being away from them. I haven't been away from my family before, so.
The good thing is he's helping our country, and the bad thing is, like Kayla said, we don't get to see him that much. And
Bourne doesn't know how long he'll be stationed in Maryland. He's one of 16 men the Navy called up from the Glens Falls Reserve Unit. Bourne will go back to Maryland Wednesday morning. Reporting live from the newsroom, Amy Polacko, Channel 6 News.
A minivan rolls over on the thruway, sending one person to the hospital. It happened near exit 26 in Rotterdam this morning. State police say the van was heading west and rolled over into the median. The van landed on its roof and caught fire. All that was left was a smoking shell of the car. Firefighters pumped water on it, and a male driver was flown to Albany Med. He was later discharged. A female passenger was not hurt. 'Tis the season for tradition, especially for one Columbia County village. Dating back to 1946, the Polacko Santa Claus Club has been out and about preparing for this special day. Santa Claus went on a parade through the streets, giving out toys and stockings to every girl and boy. The Polacko Santa Claus Club goes door to door before Christmas, Figuring how many gifts they'll need, each child gets a toy along with a stocking filled with things like soda or a book. The Santa Claus tradition started back when GIs returning from World War II wanted to make sure children could share in Christmas together. Well, Santa tries to please everyone, but if you've asked for a white Christmas lately, he's had a little trouble delivering. Statistics show if you're over 40, you're probably just dreaming about the ones you used to know.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know.
This winter, kids are jogging, not sledding, and the shovel just waits to be pressed into action. But it turns out you're not just being nostalgic about white Christmases like the ones you used to know. A study over the past 40 years by the Oak Ridge National Laboratory finds that the number of white Christmases has declined steadily, to the point where we now see half the number we used to.
Well, back in the 50s and 60s, it was colder than, it was a kind of a downward trend or a cold trend at that point, so it would be expected that it would have been stormier and colder.
40 years ago, there were twice the amount of white Christmases that there are now.
Oh.
You surprised?
Yeah, no, I'm not really, because I'm up there in age, and I remember that.
They were more Christmassy. Just because we've seen a warming trend over the decades doesn't mean you can't create your own white Christmas. The McKee family of Rotterdam were surprised when they won a contest by Fly 92 Radio, which brought a ton of the white stuff from Mount Snow and dumped it on their front lawn. A snowball fight ensued, and everybody's spirits got a little lighter.
Just makes it more festive, makes it more seem like Christmas is coming and Santa can get here and all that stuff.
After all, it is winter in the Northeast. Remember that old line, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute, it'll change.
That ridge has been over us, and the ridge is what gave us all that warm, dry weather, is moved to the west, and we're settling under a trough now, which will bring us some colder weather and the chance for more storms.
Garett says predictions are that the warming trend will continue, but there is raging debate among scientists as to whether that's due to global warming or just a natural turn of weather events. Speaking of turn of weather events, it's rather uneventful for this Christmas Eve. Here's Steve with a look at what's ahead. Steve?
Yeah, so far we don't have too much going on weather-wise. At least locally, a few snow showers have cropped up, but essentially we're just dealing with a storm which is far enough to our west not to have any big weather implications here. We'll look at it on the satellite loop. The upper level low is rotating around over the Great Lakes. It's producing a southwesterly wind flow of cold air over the lakes. There are some extremely heavy lake effect snows in very narrow bands affecting Buffalo, Rochester, Watertown, but because the wind is out of the southwest, most of that snow is going to stay well west of our area. Now, there is a weak upper level disturbance moving through, and that is triggering some scattered flurries and snow showers. Here's the last 6 hours of radar images, and you can see we do have a batch now developing, especially in Washington County. This will be moving east into Vermont, and some scattered flurries and snow showers to the west, which will be drifting through. So, indeed, some of us will see a few flakes of snow flying in the air, but should not be anything enough to cause any travel problems. Temperatures starting to come down a little bit. Glens Falls 35, Albany 35, Pittsfield now at 32, and Poughkeepsie at 35 degrees. Forecast for the next couple of hours, temperatures fall another couple of degrees, mostly cloudy with a scattering of flurries and snow showers, but nothing significant. Much more on your weather, Mary Beth, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks, Steve. And time now to check out the traffic situation on Capital Region roadways. And here's traffic reporter Michelle Adams. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, good afternoon and Merry Christmas, Mary Beth. Road conditions are looking pretty good, uneventful on all the main arteries, but in Schenectady, I'm just this second getting in a crash reported at State Street and Brandywine, so police are on the way there. And some extra volume northway south heading into Cross Gates in all our shopping areas, so do keep that in mind. The northbound side of the Northway is traveling A-OK over the Twins. 787 just seeing some sparse volume, as well as I-90 West, a brief wait this evening at the tolls. This Channel 6 News Traffic Track is brought to you by Adirondack Open MRI and Positron Emission Tomography Centers. We are leading the way in diagnostic imaging. And make sure you take Channel 6 News with you when you get into your car. Tune us in at 87.7 on your FM dial. And that's your Channel 6 News Traffic Track.
Channel 6 News is everywhere. Coming up next.
We'll catch up with some last-minute holiday shoppers trying to beat the clock.
Hi, I'm Andy Nicola. The date movie of the holiday season, maybe of the year. I'll have a review.
Hi, this is Specialist Anthony Tremblay, stationed in Camp Carroll, South Korea. Just saying happy holidays to all my family and friends back in the Capital District.
This segment of Channel 6 News is sponsored by E. Stewart Jones.
So it's Christmas Eve and you still haven't picked out that perfect something for that special someone in your life. Not a problem if you're a power shopper. That's what this group calls itself. They've been power shopping for the past 10 years. They are last-minute shoppers with a plan. First stop at Hooters for a little planning session, then it's out to the mall. They have a list and a goal: shop till you drop. They're shopping for wives and girlfriends, but there is a catch. There's a time limit in and out of the store within 12 minutes.
Larry, what is your strategy? I mean, how are you able to do this so quickly?
I think it's experience. Has to be experience.
I mean, are you just grabbing anything, or do you know?
No. I know what I want to go in there for.
Cash is the secret. If you get in line, you pay with cash, you're in and out. Credit card, you know, you got those seconds are valuable. Checking the card, signing your name, takes too much time.
And for the men who violate the time limit, there's a price to pay. They have to get their picture taken with the Hooter girls, a copy of which is then sent to their significant other. Well, pie shoppers were also out in full force. The folks at Grandma's Pies in Colony sold 1,500 of them today. Many of them were reserved long ago. Chocolate cream is their most popular Christmas pie. It takes a lot to make so many pies. The cooks at Grandma's used 70 cases of whole milk, 1,300 quarts of heavy cream, and 1 ton of chocolate pie filling. But despite so many ingredients, Christmas is not their biggest pie holiday.
It's our second biggest pie holiday of the year, falling right behind Thanksgiving, and of course coming only a month after Thanksgiving. So we haven't even wound down yet, and here we go, crank up full blast.
Grandma's sells 26 types of pies for Christmas, everything from Swiss chocolate almond to pineapple. Coming up in the Channel 6 Health Report, tips on being prepared that can serve you well when it comes to an emergency this holiday season.
This segment of Channel 6 News is sponsored by Columbia Memorial Hospital. Now, your instant Doppler 6 forecast with meteorologist Steve LaPointe.
We mentioned just a little while ago about the problems of having white Christmases. In the interest of equal time, let's present to you a man who does not care if anybody dumps snow on his lawn. As a matter of fact, he wouldn't take it even if it was free.
Well, there are some advantages. It's easier to get around.
Right.
You don't have to get around the big snow banks and the ice banks and things like that. So, you know,
and if you move to Florida, then you're all set because you're not expecting it. You know, so you're prepared.
But it's been cold enough now, so where we want to see the snow up in the mountains, it's been cold enough to make snow, and there's been a little natural snow too. So ski areas are starting to ramp up. It's been a little better for them. And it's been relatively easy for us getting around, and it looks like this whole Christmas holiday should be relatively easy as far as the weather is concerned, with no big storms in sight. Temperatures, though, have begun sliding back a little bit. 35 degrees now, the current reading at Albany, the dew point at 21. We have a northwesterly wind at 6 miles an hour, the pressure 29.73, and the barometer is starting to rise a bit. Temperatures not particularly cold given the time of the year. This is late December after all, and we can see daytime temperatures in the teens, and we have not seen that yet. We're still looking at temperatures generally in the 30s from Glens Falls to Rutland, Pittsfield, and Poughkeepsie, and we'll only see the temperatures slowly falling back through the evening hours. Now, on radar earlier today, nothing to look at, but just in the last couple of hours, we've seen some flurries and some snow showers cropping up in motion. You can see them coming in from the west, also with the aid of some west to northwesterly upslope flow in the hills east of the Hudson over into Washington County and up into portions of Warren and Essex counties moving into Vermont. We're getting now some flurries and snow showers. A report out of Casa Una that at one point today a mixture of some sleet and snow just late this afternoon, mostly snow showers now, and some light flurries and snow showers off to the west. And this is actually being triggered by a very weak upper air disturbance, which should be out of here by midnight. So at about that time, most of these will come to an end, and they're light enough, so no significant travel problems. Let's check them out on our live instant Doppler 6 weather radar. We're picking up the snow showers in Washington County, now portions of Rutland and Bennington counties as well. And here are the few that are coming in from the west down the Mohawk Valley and back to the Catskills. Again, they are light and they are somewhat scattered, and not all of us will be affected by them. Let's go back to the maps now, and we'll show you the bigger picture now. And showing you the radar again with the scattered flurries and snow showers. Main storm system, which brought mostly rain to the area last night, is now off the coast. Big upper level low is beginning to take over. You can see the counterclockwise rotation back in here. Southwesterly flow of colder air over the lakes producing some very, very heavy lake effect snow. In fact, already reports of up to a foot in some of the northern suburbs of Buffalo. And it looks like lake effect snow out across western New York and further west will be the case the next several days. Some locations perhaps 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 feet of snow. Again, these are very isolated, localized communities, and because the wind flow is out of the southwest and not west-northwest, most of this will stay out of our area. So with that in mind, we'll see perhaps even some breaks of sunshine the next couple of days. Much of the mid-Atlantic, the south, in pretty good shape. An area to watch, though, is the Gulf of Mexico off the Texas coast. I think a couple of storms will be developing here. Looks like most of those are going to stay out of the northeast because of this big, deep trough of low pressure. Notice the flow across the Gulf is more out of the northwest and then west, so any storms would tend to track right along this flow and take the hook well out to sea to our south. And that's why I think much of the week will be fairly quiet, but turning increasingly cold. Much of the northern tier now very, very cold, and this air will continue to bleed into the northeast. So temperatures will be below normal, but so will the snowfall. For tomorrow, lake effect in the lee of the lakes around Watertown, Buffalo, Rochester, maybe just a passing flurry here. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun for your Christmas day. Temperatures will be in the low to mid-30s. Looks like a nice day. For tonight, becoming partly cloudy late at night. Flurries and snow showers around this evening will gradually taper off and end shortly after midnight. Low temperature about 25 degrees. For tomorrow, 33. Mixture of clouds and sunshine. Looks like a nice holiday. No weather-related travel problems in the local area. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, variably cloudy. Could be a couple of flurries around as the wind turns a little bit more towards the west. 20 the overnight low. And here's the 6-day forecast, targeting, again, generally quiet weather intervals of clouds and sunshine. Could be a flurry really any one of those days. Temperatures near 30 Thursday and in the 20s during the day for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it will turn colder. Mary Beth.
All right, thank you, Steve. We've got some late news coming in from the control room. Yes, we've got late word on the whereabouts of Old St. Nick.
This is Master Sergeant Larry Lincoln of the Joint U.S.-Canadian North American Aerospace Defense Command. NORAD can confirm the vehicle it spotted in the North Pole region earlier today is now airborne. The vehicle, possibly a sleigh, is being pulled by 9 large animals. The lead animal has a red nose that glows so bright, our satellite system can see it very clearly. Based on available data, NORAD believes the glowing object is in fact the nose of Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Check back with us for another Santa update in about an hour.
He's on his way, kids, so remember to be nice, not naughty. Well, you can find our final ho-ho house of the season in Saratoga County tonight. This house on Evergreen Terrace in Clifton Park is a winter wonderland with lights galore. The yard's been turned into Santa's workshop, with Santa and his reindeer set to bring presents to kids across the land on this busy Christmas Eve. Frosty, of course, stands near, tipping his hat to all the passers-by. We've seen plenty of great houses throughout the capital region this holiday season. Congratulations and Merry Christmas to all. In the Channel 6 Health Report, Dr. Dave Nida has a few things you should remember to keep your kids safe this holiday season.
Be prepared is a motto that would serve you well when it comes to